Throughout my 4 years of high school, I have discovered major things about my life and myself through family, economics, and education. To me, family is the most important thing anyone can ask for. They are here to help me with my problems and help guide me into the right direction. I thank God that I have them well and alive. Over these 4 years of high school, I was able to get closer to my dad and my mother, learning more about them each day. I never realized how many things we had in common and how much I appreciate them. These days, I am able to have more conversations and I am able to say anything to them, and they will understand how I am feeling. For example, when I watched Kite Runner, Amir grew up loving his father and he became closer to him over the years and learned more about him and in the past. Second, my family isn't rich but isn't poor. Throughout the years, I have seen that my father and my mother work really hard just to provide for the family and myself. My mother had her job for almost 16 years. My father is the one who lost his job, but he was able to find a new one within a month. But what I notice is that managing your money isn't easy. You have to pay your bills for your house, your car, and anything that you desire to have. I felt bad to watch my parents keep working and use money for me, so I decided I should start working, which I did with my uncle. I started to work with him at age 15, close to 16, and I realized how hard it was to work and make the money and manage it. I would help him install floors, and the first couple of days it was painful because I never experienced so much that I have to do. But in the end of the day, I know I would get a check for working and I would be able to start making my own money and maybe start helping my parents pay bills. In the book, Working in the Shadows, Gabriel Thompson decided to work, and he would work hard in the heat and in poor conditions. He would be bent over picking lettuce, and he only got paid the minimum wage to provide for himself. The connection here is that Gabriel became a hard worker to provide for himself, and so did I when I decided to go work with my uncle. I was able to get used to it as Gabriel got used to his job. Education is important to me as much as it is to the family because my parents want me to be more successful than them and have a good career. I understand that my parents' education was not in college, and they expect more from me and to be able to attend and graduate from college. Choosing my own path is important because it is what decides my success, education-wise. My own path decides my career and my future. School made me realize how important it is to continue my education to college. In the book Divergent, Beatrice's parents expected her to make a truthful decision on what faction to choose, and she did. She moved on and chose her own path and learned more about the faction as much as she learned about herself. She was able to move on and make her parents proud of her own decision, knowing that she would be okay with whatever faction she chose. Throughout my 4 years at West, I have seen many changes on how I interpret text and interact with others. Kite Runner affected me greatly because I never thought about myself in terms of my family before reading it. It made me re-examine my views on myself and my parents, and now when I read other texts, I find myself focusing on how family connects to and affects the main character. I think this change happened because after reading Kite Runner and seeing how Amir got closer to his father growing up, I realized how important his father was to him. This was important to my growth as an individual because after reading this book, I knew that I was able to have a closer relationship with my parents. In addition, looking at economics through Working in the Shadows shaped how I view the many ways that many people suffer to make money. I think this affected me because when I started to work, I realized how hard it was to make money and provide for myself. Although I did not change my perspective on education, I feel that reading Divergent reinforced my views on my own education because I realized how much education means to me through Beatrice choosing her faction and doing what she thinks is best for herself and the family. Overall, I would say the biggest change in me throughout these past few years was my views on education because I decided that I would continue learning after my last year of high school and pursue a career for the better. I think my family has the most impact on how I perceive the world because I was able to learn from them and learn more about them as I got closer to them and grew up with them.